Go.
On May 11, 2013, we were having a Mother's Day celebration at my aunt's house. Everyone was having a good time. When we heard crying and screaming at the door, it was my cousin. She was asking for help. She was attacked by her husband. The police and the paramedics arrived. She had a broken nose and head injury. She confessed to us that the abuse started a year after they started living together. She was able to ignore it at the beginning for the progress of her family. But over time, the controlling and the jealousy became too much, and the violent attacks too severe to be ignored any longer. Today, I'm going to talk about something that affects families in the United States: domestic violence. It includes spouses, former spouses, parents, children, siblings, grandparents and grandchildren, in-laws who live in the same household, people who have children together, and people who live together and have lived together in the past. I'm going to tell you how domestic violence affects families, the punishment and laws of domestic violence, and how to prevent it. Domestic violence and sexually assault know no boundaries. They affect all races and no economic classes. Based on a national average, 3 women are murdered by their husbands or their boyfriends every day in America. When children are involved, a victim might decide to stay for the sake of the children. It is common for a mother to feel that it is more important to continue having a father figure in their lives. However, continued exposure to violence can place the children at a much greater risk, being abused themselves or experiencing direct effects from the abuse. Childhood trauma isn't something you get over. It can affect a person for the rest of their lives. People are ashamed of the abuse. They fear being killed. According to the Department of Justice Special 2014 Non-Fatal Domestic Violence from 2003 to 2012, quote, the total of domestic violence victims was 1,411,330. If we talk about celebrities, who doesn't remember Chris Brown and his assault on girlfriend Rihanna was one of the most publicized domestic violence cases, and it still is to this days discussed. O.J. Simpson was accused of killing his ex-wife Nicole Simpson, and most recently, Ray Rice from the Baltimore Ravens. Who doesn't remember the video when you see him punching his fiance's face and drag her out of the elevator? Now I'm going to talk to you about the laws of domestic violence. Cases of family abuse, domestic violence may be in court or civil matter or a criminal matter. Civil cases include those when a party is seeking a protective order, ordering another person to stop certain actions. Criminal family abuse includes cases of domestic assault and battery when the perpetrator of domestic might be in jail or ordered to comply with various conditions in the defense of guilty. A stalker is anyone that, that more than one occasion engages conduct with the intent to place the victim in fear. The Federal Gun Control Act was amendment effective September 30th, 1996 to make it unlawful for any person convicted of a misdemeanor crime or domestic violence to possess, purchase, or receive firearms or ammunition. According to the U.S. Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Statistics 2000, on an article called Intimate Partner Violence, more than 1 million people report a violent assault by a partner every year in the US. In order to prevent domestic violence, we need to know the signs of the abuse. Abuse can be emotional, like constant criticism and diminishment, poor or improper hygiene, bruises, burns, or cuts. A victim can suffer from depression, feeling scared of being alone. Get your community involved. Educate, talk about the issue. Educate the children about domestic violence. According to the Safe Horizon Safe newsletter for 2014, children and teenagers who witness domestic violence are more likely to commit violent attacks, making our schools and communities less safe. This is something that affects everyone. Ring the bell. This means if you are walking in your neighborhood or in a hotel hallway and you hear a violent situation happening, ring the bell, knock on the door. I did it before. Me and my brothers were going on vacation to Virginia Beach when we were walking to the pool and we heard we heard signs of violence on one of the rooms. We knocked the door before we called security. Don't think it's none of my business. It is your business. That inside could be your best friend, your mother, your sister, or your brother. Family abuse means any act involving violence, force, or threat, including any forceful detention which results in physical injury or places one in reasonable apprehension of serious body injury, and which is committed by a person against such a person's family or household member. Seeing my cousin that day changed my perspective about domestic violence. If you feel you are being abused, don't ignore it or stay quiet, because abuse only grows unless the abuser gets help. You are not alone. Love yourself. Respect yourself. Stop this monster called domestic violence. Fortunately today, there are programs in place to help people who inflict pain and misery to the very ones they claim to love. Today you have learned how the domestic violence affects families, the loss of domestic violence, and how to prevent it. Let's all stop domestic violence.